The fool to the world, I speak the language, and those tea leaves I love explaining. One thing I really like is when you ask questions of me. Welcome back. Last week I had some questions after I posted, so I thought I would take a little time to sit down and address those. First of all, I wanted to kind of explain who it is that I am. I am a tarot and tea leaf reader, author, and poet. You will find some of my work in Tarot and Culture, Volume 2, out of 2 actually. And I also have articles in Spiral Nature, and I have a deck review in Eclectic Tarot, which is really exciting because I want to do a lot more reviews and even just expand into any oracle. So please, if you are the creator of an oracle of some sort, it doesn't have to be decks per se, or you know someone who is and that's just coming out, then please find a way to contact me. I'm going to kind of give some info on how you can find me at the end of this video, and that'd be great. Maybe we can work something out and I can review that oracle or tarot deck or whatever. So Amanda Lee Fryer asked last time, do you think glass is easier to read because it's readable from both sides? She's pointing out the fact that I was using cups like this in my video last time, and yeah, that's really my take on how I read tea leaves, because it is easier to see from all angles what's sticking here, what's sticking over here, in case that first read is very, very puzzling. So yeah, good eye on that, but you don't necessarily have to have a nice clear cup to read from. She also wanted to know if pulling cards while the tea steeps helps understand and read those leaves. I really like this idea. I think it's innovative, inspirational. However, I really hesitate to do it because that has not been my tradition yet, and I think it would kind of muddy the reading itself because that hasn't been my approach. So I'm of the mind that it won't go as smoothly as, say, someone who's just starting out to do tea leaf readings and that's their method and that becomes their practice. So I think if you're just starting out, wow, definitely apply this method. Also, if you feel adventurous, go for it. But I can imagine that it'd be kind of like sitting down and cloud gazing with your friend and starting the process and getting in the mindset and then getting distracted in a good way with something like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book, and then instead of the shapes being a turtle, and a giant rat, and nunchucks, and April O'Neil. Well, let me say that another way. You start seeing those shapes instead of more mundane things like a turtle and Chuck Norris and sausage links and a mythological being, because, you know, April O'Neil, she was well-intentioned, but should I get into the politics of how news anchors maybe are kind of mythological? I don't think I should, because that's not really what my blog is about. But I also probably should say, while we were talking about who I am, I do have a background in journalism, so maybe I'm slightly entitled to put that in there. Amanda also wanted to know if, she asks, would letting non-tea lovers know they need not drink the tea for reading be helpful? Yeah, that's always a helpful tip. I do try to make that clear. It depends on if they're at a tea shop. Of course, they'll inevitably be invited to enjoy the tea as part of the experience. So I often do try to let them know that reading the tea is not necessary. She also asked, does tea drunk from the cup change a reading from the strained idea? So I think she's meaning, if you're drinking the cup while you're having the reading, does that change everything? I imagine it does, and that purists have really kind of freaked out because my techniques are very different from that. If you go back to my last video, that'll explain that. But I feel like drinking that tea that is steeping and loose is kind of clumsy, and I don't really like the idea of having to deal with it right against your teeth, especially at the very end of drinking the tea. So that's kind of my answers to all those questions. I hope that was helpful, and appreciate your questions. Please keep them coming. I'm out of here, and I'll see you next time. Until then, nourish your intuition and follow your muse.